Well, we're moving right along with our Revolutionary War review. And so today we're to a little text called The Shot Heard Round the World. So this is the third day we're doing it this way, where I'm going to read the text to you. And then I know you probably can't see what I'm reading on your screen, but then you have the exact same thing to look at on the screens following the video. Okay. So let's take a look at this text called The Shot Heard Round the World. Here we go. With the Intolerable Acts, British leaders tried to punish Massachusetts and force it to pay for the damage done during the Boston Tea Party. However, this backfired. Instead, the Intolerable Acts turned other Americans against the British. Within about a year, people from many of the colonies, New England in particular, were preparing for war. In case the fighting broke out, the people of Massachusetts organized and began to store guns at an arsenal at the town of Concord. Now, an arsenal is what it says. It's a place where you store weapons. So they were getting weapons ready just in case they started a war with the British in a town called Concord, Massachusetts. They also increased the size of their militia, their little state army, and the training of each soldier in the militia. These soldiers were known as Minutemen, since it was said that they could be ready to fight at a moment's or a minute's notice. British General Thomas Gage heard about this. Gage sent an army from Boston to Concord to capture the guns he heard were stored there and to arrest Samuel Adams and John Hancock, leaders in the rebellion. However, while Gage's army was marching to Concord, colonial messengers rode ahead and warned other colonists that the British army was coming. Thanks to a famous poem about his midnight ride, Paul Revere is best remembered as one of these messengers. The next morning, April 19th, 1775, fighting broke out between the British troops and colonial militia. The first short battle took place at Lexington, and the second that afternoon at Concord. About 50 colonists and 70 British soldiers were killed. As the 1,700 troops marched back towards Boston, they were fired upon by people hiding behind trees and stone walls. By the time they got back to Boston, about 300 of the British soldiers had been either killed or wounded. Wow, they got them good, didn't they? A poem written many years later called These First Shots at Lexington, The Shot Heard Round the World, because they started the American Revolution. The first big battle took place about 2 months later on June 16, 1785. About 1,600 armed soldiers of the Massachusetts militia were entrenched on a hill in Boston. British General Thomas Gage sent about 2,200 redcoats to force them off the hill. As the British soldiers marched upon them, a militia general named Israel Putnam told his men not to fire until they saw the whites of their eyes, meaning until they were very close. Why do you think he did that? Well, they didn't want to waste any bullets. They didn't have many bullets. They were running out of ammunition on top of the hill. And so he was telling them, don't shoot until you know you're not going to miss them, until they get close enough to see the whites of their eyes. The first time the British soldiers attacked, they had to turn back because they were fired upon. The second time they attacked, they had to turn back again. By the third British assault, many of the colonials were running out of gunpowder, so they retreated. The British won what was later called the Battle of Bunker's Hill, even though most of the battle was fought on a nearby hill called Breed's Hill. But about 1,000 British soldiers had been killed or wounded. Another such victory would have ruined us, one of the British generals said later. By the way, Putnam County, Tennessee, is named for Israel Putnam. He was a general on the hill who told them not to fire until they see the whites of their eyes. After the Battle of Bunker's Hill, there was no doubt this was now a war, the American Revolutionary War. All right, first battle, Lexington and Concord, and then we got another battle here at Bunker Hill, also called Breed's Hill. So in your assignment today, you'll have 10 multiple choice questions about this text. You can go back to these next few slides, reread them, help you find the answers. Talk to you later.